sometimes people ask me, so what is the best energy strategy for Texas? And you know, they'll come up and say, you know, is it wind? Is it biomass? Is it clean coal? Is it next generation nuclear? And I'm just shaking my head and I'm saying, yes, all of the above. Those are all part of an energy strategy that we need to be pursuing in Texas, and we are pursuing thanks to these individuals' decisions. And I cannot, Hans did a pretty good job of recognizing and introducing your senator, but I can't overstate how important he is to this process. I mean, sitting in the committee, dealing with all of the major state issues that you deal with, Bob Duncan is truly, I'll be real honest with you, I didn't think you'd ever get anybody better than John Montford, but darned if you didn't. And part anyway, you know, this guy not only knows the High Plains, he is a very dynamic individual from the standpoint of crafting the vision for the state of Texas, whether it's on state affairs or whether it's in the finance committee, and putting these issues on the table and guiding this state as we go forward. I'm blessed to have a partner like him in the Senate to work with, and as he's been very, very engaged in the process of helping us put together a Texas energy blueprint. And one thing we know in Texas is energy. I mean, when you go back and think about the history of our state, whether it was Spindletop back at the turn of the 20th century, and Texas has always powered the nation. And thanks to a new generation of hard-working visionaries, Texas is again leading the way on the renewable energy front. Since this room's pretty much full of experts in that arena, I'm going to leave that lengthy discussion to them about wind energy's benefits. But I will mention one thing, Guy. Just as I was coming in, I checked on a site that has kind of the current news, and the top story was coming out of the United Kingdom. And John, it was talking about why having wind energy as part of your portfolio will cheapen your energy bill. And you know, that gets people's attention. You know, when we hear stories about cap and trade being discussed in Washington, D.C. As the energy policy for this country, and the President of the United States stands up and says, your energy bill will necessarily skyrocket with the passage of this, I kind of say, wait a minute. Come on down to Lubbock, Texas, and let us educate you about why that doesn't need to be the case, and why Texas has a better idea and a better vision and a better way to make our energy business more efficient, effective, and economical. In true Texas style, Senator Duncan and his colleagues passed some very bold legislation back in 2005. They put into place a structure where, and actually gave us some, as a state, some targets to hit. We were going to produce 5,880 megawatts of renewable production capacity by the year 2015. And then we really set our sights high and said we were going to hit 10,000 megawatts by 2025. Well, in true Texas style, we already hit those marks. And we're building out capacity faster than any other United States state. In just the last 3 years, about half of that 10,000 plus megawatts of renewable energy is providing power already on our energy grids. In just the last 3 years, those came online. And this effort and the accompanying $18 billion investment has helped us meet our state's energy needs, and we've helped lower electricity bills at the same time. And the work continues. We add wind capacity. We work to connect these wind farms to the grid and then to our major cities where the people live. And that's a pretty daunting task when you think about the size of Texas and the cost and what have you. But you know, the great news about our state is that we don't back down from a challenge, and particularly one where we have such a stake. If there is an issue that's any more important, I think, for our nation than energy independence, I don't know what it is. The future of our state, it includes having that expanding energy portfolio, because there's 1,000 people a day continuing to bolster the roles of our state. People have figured out that they want to live in Texas, that there's something really special going on here, and economically people are coming to the state of Texas because they know they have the freedom to keep more of what they work hard for. And as a matter of fact, Ken, our economy's already added 166,000 new jobs since the start of the year. I'm thinking there's 49 other governors that would dearly like to be making that announcement. But fortunately for us, this is a great example of the private sector working with the public sector, and this partnership between the National Institute for Renewable Energy and the National Wind Resource Center. It will strengthen America's position as a major player in the power, in particular the wind power industry, and keep us moving towards that goal of being energy independent. This partnership will help speed the integration of massive wind resources with our power grid, set standards that other states can follow in their pursuit of our success. And that's one of the things that I try to remind people about, is that I'm not just bragging about Texas for the sake of bragging about Texas when I go and meet with other governors and other places. I want to challenge them to look at what they're doing in their states. Is your tax policy the type of policy that allows entrepreneurs to risk their capital because they know they're going to get a return on their investment? Do you have a legal system in place, Senator, like you all passed in 2003, that keeps the suing to a minimum? Do you have accountable public schools that are appropriately funded that say to companies like Vestas that when you come here and you risk your capital in our state, you know that skilled workforce is going to be here? These companies aren't moving to Texas just because we got great weather and good football and barbecue. I mean, that doesn't hurt, but they're coming here because they know that there's a great opportunity for them to succeed. And we're going to continue to invest in that type of opportunity, both the private sector and the public sector. And the state of Texas is obviously on board, investing $8 million through our Emerging Technology Fund, which was created exactly for this type of projects and programs. Since its founding, the ETF has invested nearly $14 million, or excuse me, that's not even close, $154 million in 111 early stage companies throughout the state, and we've leveraged an additional $161 million through our universities and industry counterparts and their investments as well. So with this research superiority investment, this partnership will take renewable energy research and commercialization to the next level in the state of Texas, and we will be attracting additional investment from the private sector as well. People in this industry know that Texas is serious about wind industry. Just as an aside, Kent and I were talking about that, and David, I'm not sure that in our 20+ years of working together, there has been an opportunity to impact rural Texas in a more progressive and positive way than this wind energy project that we're working on. Joe, I know that the folks up in your part of the Panhandle totally understand how important this is to our our rural communities and our friends in the cities that are going to be using this energy to attract businesses in so that they have a substantial and a good supply of energy. It's important for them as well. So the result of all this hard work is really game-changing for the industry. And not just in Texas, but across the nation. We're by a substantial margin the largest wind energy producing state in the country, and people are pointing to Texas and looking and seeing how we made it happen. And as this project reaches its critical mass, I'm confident that it's going to bring in even more bright minds, Mr. Chancellor, and it's going to yield a better trained workforce, and will keep Texas moving forward. And when Texas moves forward, America moves forward. So congratulations and Godspeed on this. Thank you.